Why does this keep on happening? Literally, as we were yapping yesterday about Gavin Lux possibly going to the Mariners or the Yankees, Gavin Lux got traded to neither of those teams. Out of left field, the Reds came in and said, we want Gavin Lux. But some would say that the offseason runs through this channel. I went 4 or 5 days without posting. Nothing happened. I started posting again. We're popping off again. So if that doesn't earn a sub, I don't know what will. Please, we're almost to 550K. Hit that subscribe button. So we got to talk about that Gavin Lux to the Reds trade, as well as the fact that we have some big rumors surrounding Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and the Blue Jays. The reports are that they are light years away from an extension, and also Nolan Arenado has reportedly deemed Boston as his preferred trade partner, and that was just reported by MLB.com. So a lot of these rumors have some legs behind them, and they could happen pretty soon, just like Gavin Lux. Before we talk about those bigger stories, I want to talk about the fact that the A's gave out a contract extension. Huh? I can't believe those words just left my mouth. They're not trading Brent Rooker, they're keeping him. The A's are extending Brent Rooker on a 5-year deal worth $60 million. And one thing to remember as well, it can get up to $90 million if an option is vested for a 6th season when he's 36 years old. I gotta give a golf clap to Brent Rooker because his journey to superstardom, if you don't think that Brent is a superstar hitter, please read these stats. 30 home runs and a 127 OPS plus in 2023. He then improved that to an almost 40 home run campaign, 39 home runs, 112 RBIs, and a near 170 OPS plus in 2024. Fuzzy, you can't call him a star player if he's not an all-star. Yes, I can. The voting system sucks. But the reason why I give Brent a golf clap because his journey to being a star has not been easy. He was with the Twins. He then got shipped off to the Padres. A few months later, he was given to the Royals, and the Royals said, we don't need this guy. They cut bait with him in 2022, and the A's said, we'll give him a flyer, and it was one of the better waiver pickups we've ever seen in the history of baseball. I'm hoping that it stays that way too. Brent's stats could get even better because a lot of players who have come through Sacramento have said that the ballpark, it's not really a hitter-friendly park, but it still favors hitters more than it does pitchers. Maybe he pops off for 45 home runs and a 180 OPS plus. It really sucks to see the A's putting their money where their mouth is after they leave Oakland in dust, and again, I feel bad for that fan base. What do you make of all this? From one contract extension to another contract extension that is far from getting done, the Blue Jays are reportedly $100 million away from where Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and his camp are. Vladdy wants $450 million. The Jays, they're at around $350 million. And if I'm a Vladdy fan, I'm thinking to myself, Vladdy, go get your bag. The Blue Jays almost offered Juan Soto $800 million. Vladdy can get $450 if he wants to. Jays fans are probably like, oh God, Fuzzy, why do you have your Boston hat on? Well, the craziest part about all of this is that if Vladimir Guerrero Jr. does not get that $450 million contract extension, his sights are reportedly set on Boston. Imagine Vladdy with the green monster in his back pocket. He might hit 50 home runs a season. Actually, I can't really say that because he has to fix the launch angle. He hits the ball really, really hard, and he's an amazing hitter, but get that launch angle up a little bit, buddy. A big reason why, and again, take it with a grain of salt, these are stories that have been passed down through the generations, where back in 2003, 2004, when Vladimir Guerrero Sr., the dad of Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he had some issues in free agency in terms of conversations with the Yankees, and ever since then, the Guerrero family has hated the Yankees. Also, one more thing as well, reports have surfaced that the Red Sox are the #1 destination for Nolan Arenado, and a lot of Red Sox fans are saying, hey, we don't want Nolan Arenado. The dude is old. Yes, he plays decent defense, but the on-base skills and the power have dipped in consecutive seasons. You can keep Nolan Arenado because if we have to get him, it's going to be in a trade, so we'll be losing pieces to not get that much better. I still believe in Nolan Arenado. It really seems like over the last few weeks of the season and going into the offseason, his priority has been improving on the bat speed. If he can get up to a 75-mile-per-hour bat speed, or at least 74, 75 like he used to have, I mean, I would want Nolan Arenado. You can put Devers at first base or Casas at first base, Devers at DH. Nah, I can't do that. Devers would be at first base, and then Casas would be a DH. That's fun. Two more smaller stories to talk about before we get into Gavin Lux heading to Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. Michael Lorenzen, he is going back to the Royals on a $7 million deal. I feel like this all but squashes his chance at being a two-way player because the plan for Michael was to sign with a bottom feeder, awful franchise where he could play 20 games and have 3 plate appearances in those games, and that would qualify him as a two-way player. He would get even more money heading into free agency in 2026. That would really unlock his earnings potential because you could use him as essentially a 6th starter without him having count towards the 40-man limit. I think that makes sense, right? I have a better chance of waking up tomorrow as Carmelo Anthony than Lorenzen has of being a two-way player with the Royals, unless I'm really off base and I have no idea what I'm talking about. But $7 million, Lorenzen goes back to where he was pretty good last year. Fine. The Rangers are continuing their pretty busy offseason. They're giving 6'8", 38-year-old stallion Chris Martin, I think about $5 million. And if you guys don't know who Chris Martin is, he probably has the best command in all of Major League Baseball, and he has a 2.6 ERA since 2020. That's in large part due to his 1 ERA season back in 2023 with the Red Sox, over 51 innings. With the additions of a Chris Martin, Jock Peterson, bring him back, Nathan Eovaldi. They traded for Jake Berger. They signed Kyle Higashioka. They traded for Robert Garcia. The Rangers are having a very good offseason, and they are ready to dethrone the Astros. Even Jock Peterson said, yeah, that cute little run the Astros have been on, they had their time. Now it's the Rangers' time. The moment that you've all been waiting for. Let's talk about the Gavin Lux to Cincinnati trade, because it's a weird one. Let's see who the Dodgers got in return for their former super prospect who had an insane second half, Gavin Lux. They got a competitive A balance pick, which is going to happen between the first and the second round. That's like pick 35, 37, and then a third rounder from last year's draft, Mike Sirota. That's it. That's literally it for Gavin Lux. Also, I just noticed I wrote Mike Sirota. It is Mike Sirota. I don't know what's wrong with my brain today in names. Yeah, that is it for Gavin Lux. A comp A pick and Mike Sirota, who the Dodgers actually scouted out of high school back in 2021. They literally drafted the guy because they believe that with a big frame, he's 6'3". He's going to be 22 years old in June. He's never had a sub 420 on base percentage in college. They think that they could really turn him into a future superstar. So that's all they wanted, along with that comp A pick, which again is a free first rounder essentially for the Dodgers. We talked a lot about Gavin Lux yesterday, and I really thought that the Reds did this because they were going to talk to the Yankees or the Mariners right after and try and pry away a pitcher, whether it was going to be a Brian Wu or a Marcus Stroman, and the Yankees cover some of that contract. I thought that Gavin Lux was going to be used as bait, similar to Spencer Horwitz with the Guardians. Spencer Horwitz was a Guardian for 17 seconds before he was flipped to the Pirates in exchange for Luis Ortiz. I thought the same thing was about to happen, but reports have basically confirmed that Gavin Lux, he will not be shipped out. He will be used as a Ben Zobrist type of player, as a super utility player. And I looked into the stats. Gavin Lux has been really good in Cincinnati, at least when he's played there. It's been a couple at bats. He's basically a 300 hitter with slugging in his handful of games. Comparison I might make is Scooter Gennett. 2017-2018, Gennett was a walking 20-plus home runs, 90-plus RBIs. He even had that 4 home run game. Now, again, I thought it was going to be a bait sort of trade where they're dangling Gavin Lux for a Yankees or a Mariners flip. According to reporters, that's not going to happen, but hey, they've been wrong before. I feel like Gavin Lux could still be on the move, but if he doesn't, the Reds lineup got a whole lot better. And you have to keep in mind that in addition to Gavin Lux being in that lineup as a utility guy, Matt McLain should be healthy come opening day as well, and he broke out. The 5'8" short king had a near 4 WAR with 50 extra base hits, his first 90-ish big league games before missing 2024 with shoulder issues. Lux and Brady Singer are pretty good additions to an already young team. They need bullpen help, though. If the Reds do not get help out there for Alexis Diaz and crew, it's going to be a weird season. Let me just say that.